What are you doing, little boy? What are you doing? Does your daddy know you're here? I'm gonna kill you. What are you doing there, little girl? Oh, your daddy doesn't know you're here? You're all alone? I'm gonna kill you. Okay. Threatening violence is one of the funniest things you can do. That's why I've been banned off Twitter like 4 times. When I was a kid, I wanted to be responsible. I wanted to grow up. Little did I know that in order to enter the kingdom of heaven, one must first become like a child. I'd never heard that before, and even if I had, I'd probably have scoffed at it. I wanted to f*** your little p***. I wanted to f*** your sister. I wanted to f*** your hole. I wanted to make you squirt, okay? That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make you squirt, Jew. I wanted to make you squirt, Jew. I thought that the morally correct thing to do was to kill your darlings, forget about your hopes and dreams, and become an accountant. I specifically remember... I'm gonna kill your family. I specifically remember planning to become an alcoholic because I fully expected to hate every second of my life, and I thought that if you could numb yourself, it might be bearable. Turns out that doesn't work. I tried. All it does is expedite your suicide. The blue pill goes down a hell of a lot harder than the red, if you have any decency. There is no dignity in giving up before you even start, but that's what I thought intelligent people did, so I tried to do it too. And it made me miserable for 8 straight years. That's how long it took me to realize that purposely making myself unhappy wasn't a great way to live a good life. Your holes are mine. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take your holes. Oh. And then I'm gonna kill your family. 8 years wasted because of a false pretense. You can't kill all your darlings because then you'll have nothing to love and no reason to live. That thought never even occurred to me. I took that feeling in your chest for granted. I thought it would just always be there. But I was wrong. The fire has to be stoked. Your will to live will fade if you let it. You were born to feel, man. You were born to feel, man. You were born to feel, okay? You were born to feel. You were born to feel because that's how everything is done. It's a feeling. It's your brain that supports your heart, not the other way around. Nobody's ever done anything because it was a good idea. We live in a very cerebral society where everyone's constantly trying to be rational and smart about things, but that's just not how it works. The idea that you can take emotion out of anything is just ridiculous. That's like trying to run a car without putting fuel in the tank. It just doesn't work. What people really mean when they tell you to take the emotion out of something is to contain it, not remove it entirely. You just can't function without a feeling in your chest, at least not for very long. And it doesn't have to be a strong feeling. You don't have to be totally in love with everything that you're doing all the time with all your heart. That's just unrealistic. But you do need something there to remind yourself why it is that you're even bothering. Giving up is really easy. You can stop doing whatever it is that you're trying to do at any moment of any day. It even feels good for a little while. I've quit several jobs and dropped out of university twice, and it felt fantastic every single time. But that's only because there was no positive emotion attached to anything that I was doing. Washing dishes or trying to become an English teacher doesn't exactly stir anything deep within. You need a reason to keep going. Without a strong emotion fueling everything that you do, life is just unbearable. But feeling is really hard to do, and most people are very bad at it. They either feel too much and end up beating their wives, becoming alcoholics, and killing themselves, or they feel way too little and end up beating their wife, becoming an alcoholic, and killing themselves. Both mistakes lead to the same result. Hello, black man. I come from Africa. You're so handsome. You're so handsome and cute, okay? I love you. I want to love you and kiss you and brush your hair, okay? You're beautiful. You understand what I'm saying, Carl, you fat bitch? Because emotion is what keeps you in check. If you can't contain it and pay attention to it, then you're going to go off the deep end. Deep end? More like deep pussy. I'm going to go deep in your pussy. Go off the deep end? More like I'm going to f*** you deep in your pussy. I'm going to make you squirt. You like it deep? I'll go deep in your holes. When I was younger, I tried to play God by turning it off. And I succeeded. But the trade-off was bad. The trade-off was constant physical pain, an inability to talk to strangers, think clearly, get out of bed in the morning, function in any regard whatsoever. It wasn't really worth it. Dying is a far preferable alternative to living that sort of a life. People just can't function without feeling. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read Notes from the Underground, because it describes this experience perfectly. Link in the description. Read it, Nick. You should read the book, okay? Unless you're a f***ing fag. What are you, gay? Read the book unless you're a fag. What are you, retarded? What are you, stupid? It's short. It's not that long. People who live in their heads too much and don't know how to feel anything are very weird, and they live very painful, horrible existences. But that's just one side of the coin. On the other, you have people who feel way too much and don't know how to control it. They're no less unhappy. That's tea, milk, and honey, okay? I like it a lot. You should drink tea, milk, and honey. It's the best thing in the world. The best beverage that doesn't have alcohol in it is tea, milk, and honey. And coffee. I like coffee too. You know, believe it or not, I was talking to a girl about this one time. And when I told her that I could just turn off my emotions whenever I wanted to, because I used to be able to do that when I was younger, she looked at me like I was crazy. She told me that sometimes her emotions hurt so bad that she'd give anything to be able to turn them off. She was jealous of my sociopathy, and I was jealous of her ability to feel. Because you're born to feel, man. When I was younger, I didn't realize that people couldn't just turn it off. I can't really do that anymore, but I seriously used to be able to. Still though, I can't even remember the last time I felt something so strongly that it made me want to cry. That must be horrible to have to live with. Having a touch of sociopathy is a bit of a gift. All of my emotional problems stem from not feeling strongly enough. Well, with the exception of anger. I have punched a few walls in my lifetime. If I constantly felt every emotion as strongly as I feel anger after losing a Rainbow Six match in overtime, that would be so tiring. People who feel a lot have my sympathy. That must be unbearable. Feeling way too much or not feeling at all are both painful, awful ways to live your life. You want to be in the sweet spot as much as you can. Since I don't feel very much to begin with, I can't offer much advice on how to contain that, other than just shutting off your emotions entirely, but you don't want to do that. But I can tell you how I learned to feel. So f***ing gay. But I can tell you how I learned to feel. You want to feel? You want to feel emotions? What are you f***ing... What are you, gay? You want to feel? Okay. You want to feel something? Feel my dick in your mouth. You want to feel something? Feel me in your holes. Want to feel something? How about sadness after I murder your wife? Take mushrooms. I'm not kidding. Psilocybin is what reminded me what emotion was. The first trip I ever had was one of the best nights of my life, right up there with the first time I got drunk and the first time I got horny. It was beautiful. God only knows how unhappy I'd be right now if I'd never done drugs. Just be careful, don't accidentally kill yourself with any poison mushrooms. Talk to a professional. By professional, I mean drug dealer. Don't go looking for them in a field by yourself, because that's a great way to accidentally die. They all look the same. All mushrooms look f***ing the same. They're identical. People who screw around with that shit are playing with fire. And don't turn into a f***ing hippie, okay? If you take them. Some people do that. They take mushrooms and then they start turning into a piece of shit. Don't do that, okay? It's a nice thing to experience. It's fantastic, but don't get gay with it. Good lord. Didn't you know the universe is constantly touching your heart, man? Yeah? I want to f***ing murder your family. How about that? How's the universe feel about that, you little f***it? Oh my god. I really don't like hippies, but I do like drugs. You're going to want to stop coming. I found that there's a direct correlation between my ability to feel anything and whether or not I've shot my load recently. I'm becoming convinced that all positive emotion has its roots in sexual desire. Love, happiness, your will to live, it all comes from wanting to f***, even if what you're doing isn't remotely sexual. It comes from your cock and balls, okay? Your cock and balls are what make you happy. Just how it is. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm a truth sayer. Really what I do is say the truth. What am I? I'm like God, I guess. So stop beating your dick, little nigga. Stop beating your cock. So stop stroking your little cock and balls. Stop touching your dick, dude. What are you, fucking jerking off? What are you, f***? You like putting your hand on penises? You like touching cocks? And learn to notice beautiful things. Pay attention to when something touches your heart. Dwell on it. Carry that emotion with you, no matter how faint it is. Learn to look at pretty girls without getting an erection. Women are the most beautiful things in the world, if you're paying attention. There's nothing better than a girl in a summer dress with a sweet smile. Melts my heart. F***ing f*** it. It's so gay! It's gay! But it is true. It's also true. The original meaning of the word gay is actually nice. It didn't used to mean getting f***ed in the ass. Nature gives me a similar sort of feeling. I like water, birds, and trees. For Christmas last year, my mommy bought me a nice globe, and I like looking at that a lot. It's very inspiring. The amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went into drawing accurate lines on a map is incredible. Fighter planes give me an erection. I think they're the most beautiful thing that man has ever made. I love them. The point is that you need to notice when something stirs your fancy and pay attention. Hold on to the emotion, because it's a choice. Consume less media. Don't spend all your time watching video. The worst types are porn and short-form content like TikTok. It's evil
Brazilian
Chinese bullshit.
Brazilian.
It's in their porn.
Brazilian.
They love getting women f***ed on camera. It's their favorite thing to do, okay? God, I can't imagine how many kids are getting f***ed by the IDF right now. And TikTok is literally just psychological warfare. You think they're letting their own little Chinese kids pay attention to that shit? They're rotting your brain, okay? It's Chinese psychological warfare. And they're trying to make you degenerate, okay? They
Brazilian.
love getting a goy girl f***ed on camera. It's their favorite. It's evil, okay?
Brazil.
Bill and China. Two awful things. I don't like either. I find most music to be very draining. I feel tired after listening to it, so I only really do if I'm in a good mood and I have a lot of excess energy. Although classical music is very energizing, I've found. Read more. I think everyone needs to read a hell of a lot more than they do. I've tried to make a video about this once or twice before, but it's really hard. It's really hard to do without sounding like a nerd, a prick, or it. But reading is great for a plethora of reasons. One of them being that it's great practice for feeling. You have to let the words stir emotions in you, because if you don't, it's just dull. Off the top of my head, Farewell to Arms, Storm of Steel, Heart of Darkness. Those are great. I'm trying to get into poetry. I like Robert Frost. The point is that if you don't feel very much, but you want to feel more, you have to put in the effort. I just want to feel, man. Born to feel, man. God, Ryan Gosling, bullshit. What do you want about? I'm born to feel, man. Oh. The point is that if you don't feel very much, but you want to feel more, you have to put in a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. I've been at this for 4 years, and I'm just now getting the hang of it a little bit. It's a long, boring, and painful process, but you have to do it because you were born to feel, and it is beautiful. So fucking gay. But it might be the meaning of life, and I'm in love with it. I'm terrified of losing it. That's why I'm so afraid of McDonald's, but that's another topic. Seriously though, it does take a lot of effort. I think some people are unhappy, or they misunderstand what feelings are. Feelings are pain. It's constant pain. Life is pain, okay? If you don't feel anything, it's physical pain, and that's just unbearable because everything just hurts all the time, and you've got no reason to live, and your brain is constantly screwed up. You can't live like that, okay? But the other side of the coin is emotional pain, and it's how do you describe this? It's painful. It hurts constantly all the time, but in a good way. It's an inspiring sort of pain, and it's always in your heart. But I think some people don't want to deal with it. So even if they say they want to feel more, they're full of shit, because feeling a lot is very tiring in a good way. It's tiring in an energizing way. It's hard to explain. It's a beautiful thing. I've been noticing beautiful things all the time lately. It's the main reason I think you can't jerk off. One thing is, I think that it makes people happy when you come to their porn. But the other thing is that it removes your ability to feel anything and to notice beautiful things. That's why I think sexual desire is the main motive for all positive emotion, because it's what allows you to notice beauty in a real way, in a way that touches your heart. But beauty is a painful thing. It hurts. That's another thing people don't understand, is that beautiful things are painful to look at, because it's like you're looking at perfection almost. It's hard to deal with. And happiness too. There's a type of happiness that's very exciting, and that's the bad type of happiness. Whenever you experience that, you're about to crash horribly and feel nothing. Excitement, happiness is very bad for you, and it always precedes something terrible happening. Painful happiness is the good one, but it hurts, so a lot of people don't want to deal with it. But you need to constantly feel pain in your heart in order to be happy. I think, at least, to a certain degree. But maybe I'm just lonely. I don't know. Is that what loneliness is? Is that what these people are talking about? I've just this past month or two been learning how to feel, which sounds gay and melodramatic, but I swear to God, I'm not being hyperbolic. I used to not feel anything ever, and it hurt. It hurt a lot, and this hurts too. This hurts too, but in a good way, and it's worth it. And I love it. I love it so much, and I don't want to lose it. Give anything to not lose it.